This is the Ray Powers Hour. I'm on the line with a guitarist whose career has spanned more than 4 decades. He's enhanced the careers of legendary acts, including Kiss and Paul Stanley solo, Meatloaf, Wasp, Michael Bolton, Diana Ross. The list goes on and on. He's even produced a Motorhead album. He just released a solo album on September 15th for Vanity Music entitled Skeletons in the Closet. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Bob Kulick. Thanks for joining. How you doing?
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hey, Ray. Thank you so much for having me today. I know it takes a long time to read through those credits. You left out about 50 or 60 things, but that's right. Hopefully we'll get to them as we go through the interview. How are you doing today?
Good. It's only an hour show, or else we would have went through every one of them. We'd have to.
No problem. I'll speak as fast as possible.
No problem. Now, you're an East Coast guy like us, but you're living out in Las Vegas now.
That's correct.
And how you like in Vegas? I know it's exploded over the past decade. It's amazing how huge it's gotten out there.
It's gotten huge, and it's going to get huger now that the Raiders and all of that is happening. You know, professional hockey, professional football. They're going to build a stadium. You know, the way they threw up that T-Mobile place where everybody's playing now. I saw Bon Jovi play there a few months ago. You know, they got that thing up so fast. It's you turn around, it's like a hotel. You turn around and it's a stadium. You turn around, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it has grown. The great thing about Las Vegas is that almost everybody comes through here.
Right.
So it's great to be able to go and see all these great bands. And in a lot of cases, I know some of the bands or managers or whatever, so I've been able to get tickets for stuff that would otherwise be, priced out of, existence as far as reality goes. Absolutely. So, been, having some fun checking out, all the bands that come through and seeing a bunch of my friends as well.
Absolutely. Now, you've appeared on so many iconic records, both credited and as a ghost player. What was the impetus to finally step forward and release your own solo album?
Well, after doing everything else, my girlfriend suggested it might be time to do a solo record. And she introduced me to Bobby Ferrari, who wound up co-producing the record with me at his fabulous studio here in Vegas, a real studio like the old days, like Power Station in New York and Electric Lady when I worked with Kiss, and Abbey Road in England when I worked with Meatloaf. Wow. A real studio with an SSL and all of that. So having studio, had written some material with my former Balance bandmate, Doug Katsaris. And so I had these 4 original tunes that were pretty much what you were hearing other than the solos and the versions that are on the record now. And so we were able to call all of my friends who we decided would be good to be on this record, Robin McCauley, and Dee Snider, Rudy Sarzo, Vinny Appice, Frankie Benali, all of the guys that I'd worked with in the past, plus a bunch of new guys that live here, Andrew Friedman and Todd Kearns and Brent Fitz and Scotty Coogan, Vic Wright, the Las Vegas contingent that, even if I didn't know them, I met them, and then we hit it off and they loved what I was doing. So it kind of just worked out. And Julie, my girlfriend, she was able to take pictures, which are the photos that are on the CD. So yeah, it was kind of a, let's see if we can actually do this. And then once we had those 5 songs completed, the 4 originals and 1 cover tune, the Goldfinger thing, everybody kept saying then, it'd be better if you had 10 songs or so. And I was like, And they were like, what about all those other great tunes you had from other incarnations of what you were doing? That never worked. Sort of the skeletons in the closet, so to speak. So got those out and played them for Bobby. And, he was just like, wow, this stuff was recorded properly. It really sounds great. And we picked 5 of the tunes, and that made up the retrospective part of the record. So 5 new tunes that no one's ever heard in this guise, and 5 tunes that probably very few people heard. So, I kind of feel good about it. I like what we did. And so far the response has been extremely positive.
And it had to be great working on, like you said, an actual SSL console. And I mean, with so many people now, turning out quote unquote albums on laptops and Pro Tools, and you can almost do things on your cell phone now. It had to be so cool to get back to a board and get back to this huge sound.
Well, I never recorded any other way. Even my studio in Los Angeles, which was nothing compared to this, was still a studio compared to what people are calling their, quote, home studio and all of that. Now I know people who have studios in their places, and some of them are quite good, but only because they had somebody professional come and build something.
Right.
And so they have the gear and the right wood in the room so it sounds like something, and the size and just the way the thing is constructed so that there's not, sound traps and this and that and the other thing. And, the ceiling's too high and it's, all of that, it's like Dave Grohl with his home studio. Everybody goes, oh, see, Dave records at home. If you went into that studio, it would be like walking into Power Station. It's $1 million worth of equipment. What are you talking about? How does this compare to your garage band or your simple computer setup? Oh, we do it all in the box. Well, yeah, that's great, but it doesn't necessarily make for the best sound, but of course, the degradation of the way people listen. We all used to huddle around a stereo system and put on our favorite record that just came out. And we'd all sit there and ooh and ah. Now everybody's listening on their earbuds, listening through, tiny computer speakers. Oh, the low end is tremendous on this. You can't even hear it. What are you talking about?
No, it's an MP3.
So, this is a huge change. The business fell over.
Right.
The companies that made duplication systems like Sony, you made duplications to rob yourself.
Pretty much.
And to watch the whole thing happen, it cost me my studio in Los Angeles. We were there for a long time under different guises with different people. And then it just dawned on me that all of the people that I'd been working with who were hiring me could not afford to pay the real money anymore to do a real record because they just weren't making any money selling those records.
Right.
And because people don't buy records, the circumstances totally changed. That's why I was very fortunate that, Bobby Ferrari saw the value of me bringing Dee Snider and Frankie Bailey and all the people that came to the studio to his studio so they could see that studio and have a great experience and also, check the place out for future work for themselves, which happened. Dee Snider wound up doing a lot of his record there.
Right, his solo
did
record.
vocals there. So, yeah. So, I always try to, be helpful and do, introductions for people and hook people up and all that stuff. And in this case, it was, I hooked them up. They hooked me up. Bobby hooked us up. It was a really good synchronistic situation. It all just worked out the way it was supposed to.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned already a large number of who's who, I'll call them marquee names. And it's not surprising given all the people you've worked with, including your brother Bruce, including all those people. Was it, now being that you co-produced, did you have a specific call for certain people on a given track, or was it more of, come on down and let's create something?
No, we had the music done, and with Doug's guide vocal, we were able to send the tracks that we recorded to either get the rest of the musicians or get the musicians, and then ultimately to play them the tracks that Frankie and Rudy and everybody were on, and then have the singers, okay, here's the actual track with the guide vocal, then they could actually hear. So who's on drums? Vinny Appice. Oh, terrific. Who's on bass on this? Oh, that's my brother. Whatever it was, this way we had it on there. And, takes a little longer this way, but it worked out really well.
Absolutely. Now, I'd love to play a track off this new album. And I'll leave that in your court. What would you like to spin?
The tour de force, to me, the song that has the most, shall we say, uniqueness and, something special about it is London. A song that's 6/8. It's the one that Dee Snider sang. Frankie Banali kind of puts a John Bonham thing to this, and it's got a Zeppelin Beatles kind of orchestral feel to it. But it's a very dark and kick-ass tuned-down song. And it's kind of, the the song I'm proudest of in that it's the most different.
Well, you upsold London, so let's play that one. It's got Dee Snider on it, and it just has to kick ass. This is Bob Kulick, off of Skeletons in the Closet, brand spanking new. This is London right here in the Ray Powers Hour on the New Visions Radio Network. New Visions Radio, this is the Ray Powers Hour, and that was Bob Kulick with London off of Skeletons in the Closet featuring Dee Snider and a huge band, huge sound. And you're right, the big studio does make a difference, and of course the players make a difference. And that's a great track.
Ultimately, the players are the most important thing, and the singer. To that end, I feel really fortunate, have 10 great vocals. There's not a singer on this that doesn't kick ass. So, the singer in the song is the most important thing. Yes, it's my solo record with 23 guests.
Exactly. That's a big guest list. That's a big party. Now,
yep.
Now, a lot of fans know that you're the older brother of Bruce Kulick, who plays in Grand Funk Railroad and spent over a decade in KISS. It's public knowledge now with the internet these days that you played on several KISS records and were instrumental in getting Bruce in the band. What some might not realize is that you also auditioned for KISS years prior. What was your first impression of meeting those guys way back then?
It was over very quickly. They put an ad in the Village Voice looking for Led Zeppelin style lead guitar player. So, I knew what that was, having seen Jimmy Page play many times. And, went to their loft and we jammed for a while and talked for a while. And, we didn't play any songs that we wound up doing Firehouse. No, there were no songs that were ready at that point for what ultimately was KISS, and the band wasn't even called KISS at the time.
They were still Wicked Lester.
That's correct. So, I had no preconceived notions other than checking it out. And, about a week after the auditions, Paul called me and just said, you played great and we really like you, but the guy that came in after you, who I had saw, he said he really fit in great, so we're going to take him. And I was like, oh, cool. All right. I said, but let's keep in touch. So when I saw that they were playing out, I called Paul on the phone and just said, can I come to see you guys play? He was like, of course. So I went down, saw them play, and I was like, wow, this is way beyond what they were showing me or what they were saying they were going to do. Right. The makeup and the costuming and all of that, even though it was primitive compared to what it is now, it was still, mind-boggling, especially for the time. And, we began to become friends. And then the opportunity arose to play on some of the stuff, write with Gene, do Paul's album, Paul's tour, and other stuff, including now, getting ready to go do the KISS cruise next month with my brother and Brent Fitz and Todd Kearns, who are all on Skeletons in the Closet, and we're going to all be playing as a band together on the cruise. We have a special 1-hour show. So that should be fun. And, it kind of continues. I guess I'm the fifth member of KISS, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, having played with Paul and playing on a live too,
certainly a member of the family,
absolutely.
The KISS family. Yeah.
And it turns out you were right twice about Bruce being in the group, so they owe you that as well.
Yeah, right.
But I was going to get to the KISS cruise. I know that's coming up, and I was going to ask you if you had any live dates to support Skeletons in the Closet. That's going to be, an easy sell. I think they're trapped on a boat. You have to buy the CD.
Yeah, right. Got to get the cruise thing out of the way, so really focusing on that, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're talking about shows, and we'll just have to see how that goes.
Now, will that set feature some material from this release?
Not sure what we're going to do yet. Okay. We're going to get together and rehearse shortly, and then we'll figure it out.
Now, your credits transcend a wide swatch of musical styles, and I had forgotten that you were one of the producers on Motorhead's album, We Are Motorhead.
In fact, moreover, you won a Grammy for Whiplash, the Metallica song, which Motorhead recorded for the Metallica tribute album that you produced.
How does that come about, and what was that like to work with the late Lemmy and the year 2000 incarnation of Motorhead?
That song, Whiplash, is on their newly released Undercover cover CD record, which is a compilation of 10 of the covers that they did throughout the years, including 4 of the songs I did. God Save the Queen, Whiplash, Shoot 'Em Down, and Jumpin' Jack Flash, the Stones tune. So those were the four that I did. I also did with them, FYI, the theme for Triple H, which I produced with Bruce Brie, who also did these four recordings with me, and played guitar on that song as well, again.
That's right. And a lot of fans may be aware, maybe not. You've had this huge catalog of these tribute albums as well. And same thing. You've been able to associate and assemble all this talent and put together these great albums, these great collections.
Yeah, my favorites, We Wish You a Metal Christmas and Headbanging New Year, obviously. The track with Dave Grohl and Lemmy and Billy Gibbons is a standout track, as was Ronnie Dio's May He Rest in Peace. God Rest You Merry Gentlemen with Tony Iommi and Simon Wright and Rudy Sarzo. Yeah, the Sinatra record, doing the metal versions of the Sinatra songs. That was a lot of fun. So, and that's why we did Goldfinger on my record. It just seemed like to reinvent something that's cool and make it cool and bring it to a new generation, I think is something special. So, but in answer to your other question about Lemmy, he was a very unique person to work with, somebody who was a total fan of music and lived his life only for the music and was not interested in money, really. Never heard him talk about money, only ever talked about music. And he was a big help. He would always help in on these projects, want to do a Christmas record. Well, you do a song, and the song that he did, Run Rudolph Run, the one with Dave Grohl and Billy Gibbons, wound up getting us the deal. We recorded that song, and Wendy Dio, who was my partner at the time, executive producer, she went and got Eagle to sign that. And so, he was very instrumental in helping out. And I returned the favor by helping them with The Game and Whiplash and God Save the Queen and all that stuff that I either helped produce, in a way that they couldn't have done without me, like The Game by playing or doing whatever. And some of the other stuff that I had suggested that they wouldn't have thought of. So, I had a great relationship and I really miss him dearly. Yeah.
I mean, he really walked the walk, and you don't find many musical purists like that.
Sure.
So many people get into it for the money, the fame, the adulation, the girls, and he wound up getting that anyway with a purist heart.
Yep, that's right.
Well, Bob, I want to thank you so much. Skeletons in the Closet is the album. Get it right now through Vanity Music Group. Pick it up. Bob, thank you. Call anytime. And when you get the local dates right here in New York, I'll be there.
You got it, Ray. Thank you so much for having me today. And it was a great interview. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future.
All right. Well, go kick ass on the cruise, and we'll see you in 2018.
You got it.
Thanks, bud.
Take care now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The Ray Powers Hour. New Visions Radio.